Hey everyone, this is the third episode of Talk to Aitan, and we have Matthew here, my fellow Englishman. How you doing, Matthew? How's it going?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine, thank you.
And so in this specific episode, we'd love to get to know you and like the journey you've been on. So yeah, so first and foremost, tell me, where are you from? Where were you brought up? We'll start from there.
I'm from Aldershot. I was born in Aldershot. Lived there most of my life. I moved to Birmingham 7 years ago.
Okay.
I have children that live down in the Aldershot area, and I've got children up here in Birmingham. Spent a lot of time down there, really getting in trouble, if I'd say, when I was younger. Some things I regret, some things I wish I never did. But when I moved up to Birmingham, kind of quieting down a bit and trying to start taking things.
How did you end up there? How did you end up in Birmingham?
What it was, my ex-wife, her dad was an ex-professional footballer. And he got the disease where he kept head. So she wanted to be closer to him to look after him. So we decided to move up this, and after a couple of years up. So I left all my friends, left all my family down in Aldershot and moved up here and left it all behind.
And you haven't looked back since, yeah?
No, yeah, I haven't looked back since. I'm glad I moved up here. Left a lot of bad memories back in Aldershot. Some things that I don't really want to remember, but I left them all behind and moved up here and made a fresh start.
Yeah, I understand. So can you tell us a little bit about what are you doing at the moment? What's your occupation?
I'm a demolition engineer.
Yeah.
I have been since I was 16. I've been in demolition all my life. Wow. The Institute of Demolition Engineers, there's only 1,200 of us in the world. So I'm a member of that. So it's a job that I'm passionate. I love it. I enjoy it as much now as I did when I very first started it. I just get a buzz of the achievement of some of the things that tasks I'm set to do, some of the buildings that I've been told to pull down and been close to another building. And when you see the finished example, you're quite proud of yourself. So I love it and I always will.
So how did you actually get into it? So you said you started when you were 16. So how did you who got you into it? Do you have to know someone to get? Is it one of those things where you've got to know someone inside, or how do you start?
No, what it was, I was. No, I didn't. What it was, as a youngster, I was always in trouble with the police. Didn't go to school, never had no qualifications. Ended up in Borstal, got out. And I went to Guildford, a town not far from Aldershot, one Saturday morning. I know Guildford. Yeah. And there's this one guy pulling a house down, and I just stood at the gate and watched him. And he called me over. I was only 15, coming up 16, and he said, "Do you want a job?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "What have I got to do?" And he said, "Just throw wood on the fire," and that's where I started. I worked on the Saturday. I went back on the Sunday. And then the next weekend I went back and was helping him, and then he offered me a job, and then I haven't looked back since.
Did you have to study for it? Is there do you have to do exams and stuff like that, or is it just something you just it's like an apprenticeship, you just learn on the job?
When I first started, I didn't, but as I progressed and become site manager, site supervisor, to be a member of the Institute of Demolition Engineers, there's a long list of exams you have to do, a portfolio, you have to do a professional interview to get your professional status. So when it comes to getting to the top of what you're going to do, it does become a bit serious, and it does become, well, I better start thinking about what I'm,
of course, it's your career,
what I'm going to be right.
And And have you do you work around, do you work around the world? Do you work around the world, or just nationally in UK?
I have been offered work around the world, but I always turn it down. I work in England, anywhere in England, but I have been offered work in Australia, Denmark, Germany, but turned it down every time.
Yeah, of course you want, there's no place like home, right? You want to stay local and family and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
the thing is Stephanie, when you've got family, and if you're the other side of the world and something happens, I couldn't live with myself. If I'm in England, if something's wrong, you can drive through the night to get home. So I always had that in the back of my head that I couldn't be that far away from my family in case something ever happened, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I always turned it down, and I've never been out of work. I've never been unemployed. So I stayed in England.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds definitely fair enough, and that's really interesting. I'm sure people listening to this will I'm sure they might watch your film Demolition Man. With I forgot his name now. It's what's the name of the guy who did Demolition Man? It's with Sylvester Stallone. That's it. Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah. But I don't think I've actually met a real life Demolition Man. so that'd be great. I know also you had a successful career as a bodybuilder. Was it amateur, or were you actually a professional bodybuilder? How would you describe that kind of career you had?
It was pretty much amateur. I didn't take it real serious. When I was bodybuilding, I wasn't one of these, when you see a lot of guys that bodybuild, they want everyone to look at them, they want to be big, they want to be muscly, I was never like that. I was never like a poser. I did bodybuilding because I enjoyed it. I used to set myself challenges. If I could lift this, if I could lift that, or I could push this or push that. So when I started, the only reason I started was because I was young. I'd given up smoking, and the gym was at the bottom of the street where I lived. So I just joined, and then slowly, as I was training, meeting new training partners, starting to put on a bit of weight, starting to look good, and then that's where it went, and it got to the point where I was competing, and that was it.
So what was your training schedule like? How often were you training? Did you have a program you stuck to? Who taught you how to train? Yeah.
I've been quite lucky. I've trained with probably some of the best British bodybuilders that are out there. I trained with Mr. Britain, Steve Hutchinson. I trained with our mentor was an old guy called Peter Fury, one of the loveliest men you'll ever like to meet. And what Peter didn't know, it wasn't worth knowing. And Peter put us on the right road, and Peter taught us this and taught us that. And the best bit of advice Peter ever gave me was, if you're going to a gym, don't ever cheat. He said, because if you cheat, you're only cheating yourself. He said, if you're going to go to the gym, train properly, train hard, do what you've got to do, and get out. And that's the sort of way that I've trained. I still go to the gym now, but I don't train nowhere near as hard as I used to. But I still have that sort of mentality. If I go to the gym, I'm not one of these that's in there with his mobile phone and he's chatting to his mates. I'm in and out in 5 minutes. If you're going to go to the gym, why take your phone? Leave your phone in the car. I don't want distractions. I just want to get to the gym, have my workout, and then get out.
What would you say is your key to success? Obviously, there must have been some good programming. You must have had a good program. It couldn't just be you're just training hard. But what do you think? Like you put it down. What made you win things? What made you better than the other guy in competitions?
Probably, if you're seriously thinking about competing in bodybuilding, always make sure you've got a good training partner. Someone that's got the same sort of mentality as you, who wants to push you. You know yourself, you've competed in powerlifting and stuff. If you've got someone that you're training with that's going to push you and get the best out of you, it's all right going to a gym with your mate. You're in the gym, it's no good because you're not going to change properly because he keeps talking, it's this and that. My secret was I always train with a good partner, and my partner I was training, he'd be in bodybuilding to compete in the same as what I would. So we'd set each other goals. Right, I want to be in 6 months' time. I want to be weighing this much. I want to be weighing that much. Then I'll start dieting, ready for my show that's coming up in November or coming up in November or December. But so the key to it is always have a good training partner. And if you're in a gym, you'll notice a good training partner because he's the one that's quiet. He's not getting involved in what everybody else is doing. He's just there doing what he has to do, and then he goes. They're the good partners. They're the ones that are not going to be sitting there on Facebook, on YouTube, and all this. They just get in there, get what they've got to get done, and get out. So always find it if you're training, get a good training partner.
So can you describe the kind of training environment you were in? Because I don't think a lot of people understand that, because I don't think we have so much of the. I mean, I know we have CrossFit now, and we've got, CrossFit is like a big sport now, and there is a kind of resurgence in powerlifting, but I don't think it will have the same environment as maybe how you were training. Just the mentality and like what kind of environment was it in? Like was there other different athletes there as well? Was it all just bodybuilders? Like, yeah, just how would you say it was when you were training?
It's the same as if when I'm working away from home, I always try and find a spit and sawdust gym, an old proper bodybuilder's gym, clanging of plates, barbells being dropped, dumbbells being dropped. In my eyes, they're the proper gyms. I'm not a big lover of pure gyms and these pay-as-you-go gyms. My opinion is a lot of guys join those just to tell their mates that they go to the gym.
Yeah.
They're not taking it serious. They go in there, all they're doing is looking at women in leotards. They're not interested. They're in there 2-3 hours, and it's a waste of time them going. But when they're at work, they can say to their mate, "Oh, I was at the gym last night," which isn't really the right sort of mentality. Whenever I go to a gym, I always find an old school, proper bodybuilder's gym.
That's a good piece of advice. I think, if anyone, and if people can't find that, what should they do? Do you think if they can't find like an old school gym, what should they do instead? Like, how should they find a better environment?
Pure gyms and that are all right, but like I say, the problem you find is that they're full of guys that are called posers and women watchers. That they're not there to train. They're there because, like I say, they want to tell their mates to go to the gym. They're okay to use, but if you're going to use one of them sort of gyms, just pay attention to what you're doing. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about that guy over there that's watching every single woman on an exercise bike or a treadmill. Because them guys, they shouldn't even really be in the gym. If you're going to go to a gym and you're going to use a pure gym or you're going to use it, don't worry about what other people are doing. You just concentrate on your bit of training and then do what you got to do and get out.
I think that's a really good piece of advice. I like the simplicity about it because that's how I like to coach people as well. So outside of the gym, what other hobbies do you have when you're not training? And I know you're family. And do you have any other hobbies like that you do?
I used to. I was quite into boxing and kickboxing and anything really that kept me fit. I was always fitness minded. I was fit as a fiddle. I'd be sitting at home 1 minute and think, well, I'm going to go for a run, and I'd run 5 miles, and it, like you didn't even break out in a sweat. So fitness has always been sort of my sort of go-to place. It's like, yourself, if you've had a hard day's work and you come home and you just 15, 20 minutes banging a punch bag, it takes all the and it calms you right down. Or yourself, you're big into powerlifting, you're in the gym and you're thinking, right, I'm going to lift that no matter what. And you've got your mindset and you think, well, I'm going to get that off the ground or I'm going to push that. So that was my release. If I had a hard day at work or I'd had an argument or I'd had a row with someone, I always used to use fitness to get that sort of anger out of my head or calm myself down. Punch bags are the best things in the world.
What about, do you watch any
Take your aggression out of it, and no one gets hurt.
Do you watch any sport? You a fan of watching any sport? Support anyone?
I'm a big Chelsea fan. I used to go. I used to take the son to every home game. Now that he's older, we haven't been for a long, long time. But I'm not so much into my football now. I like watching a bit of boxing, but nowadays, if you look at the boxing, I liked the boxing when Mike Tyson was around, and when Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, proper down to earth boxers. Nowadays, you're watching boxers. They got their pre-start meeting. All they're doing is they're just slagging each other off. That's all. It's like mandy pandy. But when you look at Mike Tyson, the way he used to enter the ring, there was no all singing, all dancing, flashing lights or anything like that. You just walk in the ring with a pair of shorts on, a pair of boots, and do what you have to do. And I enjoyed that. It's not very often now I watch a fight, but that's just I used to enjoy watching the likes of Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Nigel Benn.
Oh yeah.
The what I call proper boxers. Nowadays, I don't think they're all in it for the money. They're not in it to be heavyweight champion of the world or to be the middleweight champion of the world. They're in it for the money. And you can't blame them when they're getting their head smashed, getting their head punched and their bodies pounded. So if they're going to get £10 million, £15 million, fair play to them.
And also just a few more points, like how have you, I know like we met in the Aphro-D Academy. So how has it helped you, like the experience of the Academy and taking the Aphro-D, like how has it helped you develop? Has it changed your mindset? Has it just kind of in some ways unleashed a bit of new life into you? You're like, how would you describe the experience of the whole thing? And how long have you been doing it for? How long have you been on Aphro-D or in the Academy for?
I've been in the Academy. I joined, I ordered my first batch last September.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID, and I understand with the shipping and all that, I didn't get my first bag until December. One thing I can say is that I used to be, how can I put it, like a very aggressive man, like ready to explode at any minute, Adrian, you know what I mean? And since taking Aphro-D, it's hard to explain. It's like I'm like two different people. I'm like a Jekyll and Hyde. I've left that horrible person behind, and I've made great leaps and bounds into this new guy that I am. And that's all because of Aphro-D. When I brought it, it's like when I did my video, I was very skeptical. I thought, all right, I'll give it a try. What can I lose? I'll give it a try. Do you know what? One of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because it's calmed me down. I look at things totally different. It's like a whole new mindset. I look at things totally different. Where in the past, something would happen and straight away I'd be off like a trigger. The anger straight away. But now I'm just so mellow, and the stuff is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And I will be, like I say, I wish I found it years ago. And I'm so pleased that I have found it. And it's become I wake up in the morning and straight away you think, well, I've got to do my Aphro-D. And it's become your routine. And it's like, and the Aphro-D family, you're meeting guys you've never ever met before. And they're so helpful. Every little tiny little bit of it. I've started fasting because of Andre gave me a little bit of advice, and I think, all right, I'll give that a go. It's worth trying. When you watch some of the videos that people put on, one that was put on last night, one that you did about the plastic wrapper, take it out of the plastic, and it's just a few little tips and that little bit of advice that, with Ray Garcia and with Rudy, and everybody's giving everybody little bits of information, and it's making your life better. It's not making your life harder. It's progressing you to be that better person that you want to be. I wish I found it years ago, and I'm so pleased that I found it. I will be a member now until the day I die. I will take it every day because I swear by it. I think it's absolutely awesome stuff.
And this finally, what would be your message to two things? A, to like everyone in the world who's trying to become a better person or improve their lifestyle, improve their health, and people in the academy. What would it be? You think your final message to them?
My message for anyone that's out there that wants to be a better person. And you know, I've had a long road of, when I was a youngster, I was always in trouble with the police. I was always fighting. I wasn't a very nice man, to be quite honest with you. In the circle of people that you're in, you're a nice bloke because you're hard, you can have a fight, or so if there's any trouble, or Matty, I'll knock him out, or he'll do this and all that. In the circle of people, you're a nice person, but an outsider, you're horrible. My advice to anyone out there, I'm not just saying this, I don't suck up to no one, never have done, never will do. Any guy that's out there that wants to make a better life for himself, buy yourself a packet of Aphro-D and give that a go. And you watch how much that will change you. Like I say, I was a horrible person. I used to be a horrible person. Now I'm like a different bloke. I'll help anyone. Where in the past I would think, I won't give you the time of day. Now I sit and think, hold on a minute, he needs a little bit of help. Give him a bit of help because there might be a time when I need his help. So Aphro-D is a life changer. And I'm not just saying it, like I say, I don't suck up to no one. And if I thought it was rubbish, I would say it was rubbish. But it's changed my life and it's put me on a real good mindset. It's true what Rudy said the other day, try and find something, a hobby that you've never done. So I've sat there and thought about it. Right, I'm going to start reading. I'm going to start reading books and I'm going to start reading up about the human body and stuff like that. But it's just, in the Aphro-D family, it's just little tips that you've given me. And you sit and think about it, because when you sit and think about it, you think, do you know what, they're right. They are right. I was walking this road and I've come to a fork. What do? Do I go the left-hand side and stay what I'm doing, getting in trouble, fighting, doing it, or do I take the right-hand fork and walk down that road and be a much better person? I'm taking that right fork, and I will be on that right fork for the rest of my life. It's a life changer, and it's changed me so much. And I am so grateful to the likes of yourself and Farhan. You've changed my life.
I think, Matthew, I think everyone can see from your definitely your no nonsense, sincere words you're saying that, you know, I think people can definitely learn from what you're saying 100%. And, you know, we're all grateful to
if I've got something to say, I'll say it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, if I had something to say, I'd say it. Even if someone was going to punch me in the mouth or someone was going to hit me, I'd say it. And I wouldn't back down, and I wouldn't try and mix my words. I'd say it straight out. And that's, I'm one of them guys that's honest. If you don't want to hear the truth, then don't listen to it. But I will tell you the truth. And if I've done it before in the past, and I've been in fights because I've said something and it's the truth, and someone doesn't like to hear the truth, and I've had a fight with someone over it. But that doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person that is going to tell the truth. I don't bullshit. I don't suck up to no one. And if I was sat here and you said to me, Matt, what do you think of Aphro-D? And I thought it was rubbish, I'd say, yeah, it's crap. It's a waste of money. But honestly, sincerely, it's changed my life. And I'm so grateful for finding it.
Matthew, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your words of wisdom and your insight. And we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Thank you very much, mate. It was a pleasure doing it.